Ki nonghikai school sorkar hapo kashatri all Meghalaya Government Upper Primary Teachers Association AMGUPSTA haka katsantrik jemang kila penlong ya jingalang 8th annual general meeting ha hall Kalayan Mission Compound Jowai banyat heriatai ki babuan kimat ki baya day ber jingeh kabakimat kum kinohikai school sorkar kakong Philominad Khar General Secretary habakran Shakilat Taikubor Hadin Kajingalang kalau ong baka AMGUPSTA kalay kunting halor ka Meghalaya School Service Rules MSSR arjapasan. Ngilabut dia ni kanika kam om tang bat katanan hagakerdan Directorate Henry Wat bat u Commissioner katanan Puli Puthi bat ru Umintri katanan Puli Puthi la ong kakong Philominad Khar. Kalapan pau ru jing hagabaya day bet jing teng kala ong babon ke school ki dunai ki jingdon kam bakong san kat kum ka National Education Policy NEP kentup ka jingdon kam ya ki core computer na kabentay ki kina school kala ong ru bakat tu ka ni ki ying school ki don ha ka jinglong ka basniu ha ka badon ki baklem penthamai la bon bon snam Wei unohikai ulayat ho ba u engineer ulama ham baka ying school jongki hamoring kineng kala bantua hakenu kan ko por bakhi jumai Henry ki jingkar pad baman ka por om sham lapan bet kala ong halor ka jingduna nongtre bar ka jingkit ka bakhya ka balabu halor ki nohikai ka kong khar kala ong baki school ki badan tang saungot ki nohikai ki penyaj hadu arspa nyop hongot ki khna school ka bapan long ka jinga pher hapeng ki khna school bar ki nohikai kalong persya yaka balabu. Kala keno syu bagi nohikai ki syak penkit palat hagi kam sensyar, kentup yaka jing pendrungi ki jing tip babnya jongki kena skul, kat ba kidang betengi ki kam kelas, bat ki wei ki kam ka sorkar kum ka jinglum khana summary ne census. Halor ki jinglong jingman haka jing syakri, ka kong dekhar kala kentho yaka jing bamya ham, haka jing siu bat ka jing kiu kerdan, hapo ka MSSR arjarpsan. Kalau ong babon ki nohikai bala pendap ya ke kerdan pulih DLN kidang sa hai ki kerdan tulap ki bakham duna kat ba ki nong trei hai ki wei pat ki tenan ki yo ya ka jingki kerdan ke bakham kloi
AMGUPSTA actually represent teachers of government UP school. The first thing that we want and we have initiated and advocated for is the amendments of the MSSR 2025. We have been advocating for that since last year May. We have when an order came out for us to submit an undertaking. We have pursued that not only with the department at the directorate level, we have done that with the Commissioner of Education and also pursued the same with the Education Minister. In spite of numerous advocacies that we have represented to the department, to the government, and even having taken it up with Sir Lakman Rimboy, who at that point when we met him actually said to us, I thought the happiest lot of teachers are the government UP school teachers. But surprisingly, you have so many anomalies. How is it you have been quiet for so long? But it's not that we have been quiet. Most of us, we didn't even get to be a recognized association. From the year 2014, we pursued that. And in spite of pursuing it over the years from the year 2014, we only got it in the year 2025. So on the year 25 also, that was on 9th of September. Before we got that, we initiated the movement. And again, now but that is not the only thing that we are struggling with. MSSR 2025. When you're talking about our students have to do as per NEP. They're supposed to have access to computer. They don't have that. When you look at our buildings, a majority of the buildings are dilapidated. And some of them have not had renovations for 12 to 15 years. Just now I was talking to one of the teachers and he said their school, which is at Maurinkneng, an engineer had already come to their school saying that your building, any moment if there is an earthquake, it will collapse. And they have written letters and yet that hasn't been taken up. So if we come to this association and the meeting of the general meeting, there's not just one thing. Even a teacher who was pregnant and due to give birth, it is her right to get her maternity leave, and yet she was denied that. Now teachers who are going for leave, when medical leave, for instance for cancer you get 9 months, and yet we do not get someone to officiate in their place. And if you have, in addition to that, teachers who are female and lady teachers and having maternity leave, and they also are on leave, then how are we as teachers supposed to finish the syllabus when there are barely 4 teachers teaching 270 students? That is 270, which means a proportion. A PTR is supposed to be 35:1. Their PTR is 70:1. So is that fair? And yet they are supposed to submit data on MLANs, which means based upon that, for every question that the child answers, if there's 1A, B, C, D, then you have to fill up it individually. That is on top of the fact that you already have corrected your papers. And now you have to even consider that. So when it comes to teachers, we are asked to do a giant work, but then we do not have the resources. We are given MLAP. MLAP is very, very helpful for us. But when we ask the headmasters of schools, even they are bound. Because why? They do not have the resources. So there are tools that are given to us by the government that we could use very usefully in our classes. But how can we use them when in fact if there's 609, she has to print that out and give it to us. Now the first thing that we get is, where will I get that money from? So the fact is, when it comes to resources, it's less. When it comes to needs, it's not there. But yet we are supposed to perform everything that is asked of us. Whether it's Judice, whether it's Poshanma, whether it's anything. Even if you look at everything that a teacher is asked, it's a gigantic effort.
Okay.
And yet, a teacher still has to go on census duty. See, when it comes to the MSSR 2025, it has been something that when you look at a teacher gets into a job and they serve with pay level at LP level. At LP, they serve with pay level 5. Now, pay level 5 is the pay level that was, from years gone by, the recruitment was only for class matric. But yet, that criteria of being recruited is now not matric. It's class 12 with DLN and MTET, but still a teacher gets pay level 5. And yet, the promotion is pay level 5, to pay level 6 in a span of 10 years. But if you look at an LD who's from a different branch, she's not a teacher, but we are talking about parity from one department to another department. When you look at that, they have pay level 5 and the criteria is class 12. But from pay level 5, they will get promotion in about 7 years in the district, they will go to pay level 8. In the head office, they'll go with pay level 6 with class 12 pass, and yet in 5 years, they will go to pay level 10. Now you look at the graduate who's in the secretariat. They are all clerical. I'm not saying they're the same department as us, but I'm saying parity from one department to another, looking at the qualifications. Now a teacher who's a graduate with DLAD in the UP, they're getting pay level 8. But in order to get to pay level 9, they have to work 10 years. Whereas in the secretariat, it is pay level 8. By pay level 11, they will get, but only after 4 years. When it comes to MACPS, now teachers are getting, some of the teachers we are finding, they're getting FR 23-1. Now, FR 23-1 is when you get a notional increment. But some teachers are getting FR 23-2. So which means there is no notional increment. It just gets fixed from a pay level 5 to a pay level 6, and it just goes to the next higher scale, which means it's barely 200, whereas this other teacher gets 1,500. So how can it be that we are teachers in the same department and yet we have different rules applied to us? When it comes to charge allowance is actually given as when you hold a dual charge. For instance, in schools, what happens is that Sometimes a headmaster gets transferred from one school, they go to another school. So when they get that post of headmaster in charge, that means they are not only the headmaster in charge, but they also have to take classes. They cannot become the headmaster and just do the job of a headmaster, administrative work. They also have to be a teacher. So you do two jobs. So dual charge. So as according to after 2017 ROP, what happened was the charge allowance prior to that was 5% of basic. But what happened to that, it was revised. It was revised and then it became 10% of basic from the year, I think so, 2017. And that was passed by finance establishment. So finance establishment is the department concerned with charge allowance. But then what happened was when we got our orders, for instance, I was for 10 months and the president was he's been the headmaster in charge since the year 2022. So 22 to 26, that is around about 3 years plus. In those 3 years plus, holding dual posts, the charge allowance was given at 3%. So surprisingly, we being active in the AMGUPSTA, we went out of way to find out information whether the charge allowance is what we are actually supposed to get is 300 or 10% of basic. So when we did ask for that and we asked for clarification, not just me, but a number of teachers from the East Khasiels, what happened was a letter was received in which the department, the education department says that they will take the matter up when the next pay commission is convened. So surprisingly, why is it for teachers we are not given the same facilities and benefits that other government departments are getting? Why is it for us 300? So it's surprising to say about the least.